Now, unfortunately, in our homes, in our households, when it comes to cases like this, then a lot of religious abuse takes place. A lot of religious abuse takes place. A lot of blackmailing takes place. There's an author by the name of Donald Capps, and he's written a book which is called The Child's Song, The Religious Abuse of Children. And in there he's basically analyzed the religion of Christianity and how people have used religion to sort of justify their wrongdoings, especially when it comes to the abuse of children. So he named it the religious abuse. Okay? And so he was mentioning that on one occasion, and he mentions this in his introduction, that he was delivering a lecture on religious abuse at some the Science of Religion seminar. And he, analytically went through, how people have used religion to sort of support their wrongdoings and their injustice towards their own children. He saw the woman that was seated near him, and the one that actually introduced him, right, when he saw her, she had tears in her eyes. After he concluded the lecture, 15, 20 people from the actual crowd came up to, this author, and they were also, overwhelmed and in tears. Why? Because this is something that they, as children, have also experienced, and we, as children, also experience it. For example, you look into when you go to the Indian subcontinent, for example, and you look in within, the system of, the evening madaris, where, children come to learn Quran, in Islamic studies. If you see and observe the brutality that takes place on these children, and the level of abuse that takes place, right, is beyond a person's comprehension. And then when you go to confront such individuals, they will use religious rhetoric to sort of justify their doings. Okay. It came to the West for some time, and then the government became more strict on this, and now, alhamdulillah, it's completely annihilated. So you won't find it here anymore. But it still goes on. But the point of the message is this, that using religious content, religious literature, the Quran and Hadith, to justify your wrongdoings. Now that's a topic in itself. When it comes to marriage, we face exactly the same issue, religious abuse. And what is that abuse? When parents, end up saying to their children who are not willing to sort of go forth with what the parents have proposed, you'll hear parents saying things like, "Tu to bahut nafarman hai. Tu bahut nafarman che." Right? You are so disobedient. What you're doing is completely haram. Right? Quran says waqada, and then at that time they remember all these ayat. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. How come you are not listening to me? This is religious abuse. Haram, haram, haram. We are instilling, this feeling of guilt within our children, where they feel so hesitant to take the next step just because they feel they're doing something against, Sharia and the parameters of Sharia. Whereas that is not the case.